Hit it. Now, if
Sorry.
that isn't a funny moment, I don't know what is. We had something completely other planned, but welcome to the Caffeinated Podcast. I guess that will work as the funny moment. This is the show.
I had a brain spasm. I'm just.
This is the show where positivity is the goal, but chaos is the process.
Guys,
I'm
you got to
BUBBZI,
understand,
he's
it's
the
been
beard.
that kind of week, right? Yeah, he's BUBBZI. I'm the beard. He said it. I overtalked him because I'm embarrassed now because I couldn't remember what I was going to say. And I mean, you probably saw me if you're watching the video. If not, for those listening, you heard the extended dead space of me sitting here with my mouth open going,
I'm basically like, point, go, funny moment, start, go. All right.
Well, it was just another little limerick, if you will, and I'll share it with you now that I can actually say it. You know, it's one that I heard years ago, and I don't even remember where I heard it, but it kind of goes like this. It says, I eat my peas with honey. I've done it all my life. It may taste kind of funny, but it keeps them on my knife.
And I was supposed to go, why are you using a knife to eat peas?
Yeah, and I was going to be like, peas are dangerous.
And then I was going to say that's only when they're in a pod. Haha, we're two peas in the pod. Welcome to the Caffeinated Podcast. It's going to be great, but you got what you got, all right?
Yeah, it just, I mean, again, guys, we said there's no cuts, there's no real edits in our podcast. If we mess it up, we fess it up.
Yeah.
And you all see it. It's just that simple.
Hey, I messed up the clap and left it in one time. We're leaving that in. All right.
Right.
Oh.
So I do want to say this, BUBBZI, before we get into it. We are going to do the sponsored ad, but for all of you all who listened to and watched last week's podcast, we thank you. Right now, it is the most watched podcast we've ever put on YouTube. And you guys just knocked it out of the park. I hope you all enjoyed Mr. John Pop. I hope you enjoyed learning about Coffeetarian itself. And I hope that everybody has been running to coffeetarian.store, buying lots of coffee, and putting in beard to save 10% off your first coffee order. Now, that being said, we could use that as the ad, but we want to give you all the information for those that are just tuning in this week. So, BUBBZI, let's tell them a little bit about Coffeetarian and what they offer, and then we'll get into this week's title. We'll give them the rundown, and we'll jump into it.
I do have a question. Did the sponsor change for October?
No, it is still, as of right now, till about mid-October, it is still Educate Liberia.
Okay. Well, then we'll do the ad read as we have it.
Yep.
That's right, folks. We're sponsored by Coffeetarian. We had the owner on last week, but Coffeetarian is coffee plus humanitarian. That's right. The entire vision behind Coffeetarian is not only to provide the quality, curated coffee right to your door, but it also assists in great humanitarian efforts all around the world. Coffeetarian is an online marketplace where you can get cups, hats, t-shirts, coffee, all straight to your door. There's also a blog that you can use that will help elevate your coffee game. Now, I'm going to hand it over to I use the word snob, but I'm gonna say connoisseur to talk about the great coffees they have, as well as my new favorite in the cup.
Yeah, they offer some of the best, in our opinion, single source origin coffees from regions such as Colombia, which is what we're drinking today, Tanzania, and so many more, Mexico, Guatemala, you name it, they've got a little bit from it. They have blends such as the breakfast blend and the cowboy blend, which is also one of the favorites of the bearded household. And what they're doing with their blends is they're mixing high quality single origin coffees and just different roast levels to get those amazing flavors. Finally, they offered flavored coffees such as the Mexican chocolate, the Cinnabon, or the pumpkin spice, and others. all of the coffee is roasted. Are y'all ready for this? On demand and shipped the next day. That arrives anywhere in the U.S. on average in about 4 to 5 business days, so that your coffee has that perfect freshness as soon as you make that pot out of that fresh bag of coffee. Now, for the diehard coffee fans such as myself, you can even set up a subscription now that auto orders and auto ships your coffee on a weekly or monthly basis, just depending on how you want it to arrive.
That's right, folks. And like I mentioned earlier, you've got the cups, you've got his hat. If you wanted something, example, you've got t-shirts, you've got obviously great coffee. But the thing is, every single sale, a percentage of that goes to help good charities and other organizations around the world. Now, like we mentioned earlier, this month, and like you said, through about the middle of October, they're going to be helping New Breed Incorporated with their Educate Liberia initiative. Now, what this does is they're actually building schools in Liberia. Now, Liberia was just torn apart by a civil war, and they've not had school access for a very long time. So this school is going to not only teach kids, but also adults who never got a chance. Now, as far as we have been told, they've actually already got buildings set up. They're working on repairing roofs, getting supplies, everything like that. And every bit of coffee, every bit of sale that you use goes to help fund that. And like I said, the charities will change, but like I said, right now it is New Breed Incorporated. And if you want to also support us for your first sale, you can actually check out with the code BEARD, that's BEARD, and get 10% off your first order.
Yeah, your first coffee order. Yes, absolutely. Yep. And BUBBZI, we made it. That might have been the best one yet.
I think so. Oh my gosh. You got to understand, guys, we are very off
If the beginning of this show does not show you how discombobulated and chaotic we are sometimes.
I'm just going to say this. We are very off script, and we were given a script. So sometimes it's hard to be like, okay, we have to take it from here to, like, let's bring it down. Like, make sure you're saying the right things, because we like to let the rabbits run, and run they do. So we're happy to be able to make it through that. That was first try, but don't worry,
we did pretty good. We did pretty good.
We'll miss something up later.
Thankfully, Coffeetarian has been very pleased with our efforts in the past already. They are, I am happy to say, huge supporters of the podcast. They were listening to the podcast long before they ever decided to sponsor the podcast.
Yes.
Now, guys, you'll hear us say it a few more times probably throughout the podcast, because we just love their coffee on top of everything else. But, go in, find some good coffee, put in the code BEARD at the end, save 10%. But as you're making that first cup of coffee, I want you all to remember every time that you make a cup, not just the first, but every time you make a cup of coffee, that you're helping somebody else out by buying a bag of coffee, or by buying a coffee mug for a birthday gift, whatever the case may be. We love the owners of Coffeetarian. We love the concept. That's why we were so tickled to be a part of it. And that's why we had him on last week, and John did an excellent job. I hope you all are trying his pour over technique, because if you can match that, you're going to get an outstanding cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, we probably better move on today, Bubs, and probably need to give them the rundown so that we can just let the rabbits run in our own chaotically unique fashion. Maybe it's the best way to say it.
Well, so it definitely is a rabbit race in this place, that's for sure. But today, speaking of things that we're putting in our mouths, today we're going to be talking about at least what we've called tummy talk. Now, that does not just limit to coffee for once. Thank you, because I'm here for the caffeine. But we're also going to be talking about some food subjects. We're going to first talk about our favorite foods, as well as you obviously got to have the comfort foods, things that just make you feel good. Also go to the strangest things we've ever eaten or tried. I'm not going to say eaten just entirely, because some things there's no way that's going down. And the second is just weird foods in general. Would you even give it an attempt? Then obviously we'll kind of wrap it up, talk more sponsors, and let y'all get on with your business. But hopefully you enjoy the podcast. And if you do, if you're on YouTube, like it, comment, subscribe. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. We'll definitely make sure to read those. And if you do leave a comment, we read every single one of them. So I'm going to pass it over to the boy.
Depending on what video it is, and it doesn't matter, leave a comment. If there's something that you'd like to hear BUBBZI and I discuss in our, like I said, our own unique fashion, please drop a comment, share the video, let your friends know. If you're enjoying it, hopefully they will too. And we get it. We know we're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. We know that not everybody's going to get us and get our sense of humor. And, and for those that have been here the whole time and have been listening, we appreciate you. We thank you. And you also know that sometimes we go a little deeper. We try to have fun with everything, but it's more about lifting people up. It's about sharing something of our day and sharing something of yours so that we can be stronger together. Unity and positivity, that's what we're after. That's what we're trying to push. So, last week we talked about coffee, and for those that watched it or listened to it, you heard me say, coffee is one of those things that can bring people together because I got to stop. I caught myself twice now, Bubs. I'm playing with this chair because it swivels and I catch myself doing this. I got to stop. So if I'm making somebody seasick who's watching the video, I apologize. But you got to know, BUBBZI upgraded chairs, so I upgraded chairs. Well, right? So I got to quit playing with it.
No. You don't get to just throw that. I wanted to buy him a chair, and he would not allow me to give him the new chair. So I had to take the new one, and he got my old one. They're the same brand. They're it's just slight differences and upgrades, but he was like, "You're taking the new one."
Yes. Got to take care of the BUBBZI because the BUBBZI takes care of me.
I just wanted to give him a new chair.
I catch myself swiveling in it. I'm catching myself playing, and I got to stop. So for all of those of you that saw that, you were not on a bad sea voyage, nothing like that. It was just me being my ADD self, and I apologize. So let's move on. Well, so we're going to talk about food because last week was about coffee, things that bring together. What's, Bubs?
I'm just saying.
I see the face.
Also, he not only will he not let me buy him stuff, you should see me try to buy him dinner sometime. Oh my gosh. It's like, all right, just arm wrestle me for it. Please. I've had to sneak.
Cheat.
I've had to sneak waiters my debit card to pay for dinner sometimes.
I am better with giving than I am with receiving. Let's put it like that and move on. So
I like my pops.
We're going to talk about, first of all, our favorite foods. Okay. Now, I didn't get this big by accident, so my list of favorite foods may be too long to go through the whole thing. But BUBBZI, what would you say is your favorite food?
Bro, I think I've just got to go with a region of the world and just say Asian inspired cultures, because it doesn't matter if it's Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, bro. Oh my gosh. I will just some rice and some teriyaki chicken. I'm good for days. Promise.
Okay. So anything Asian inspired?
Pretty much. If we're just talking straight up, I can eat this probably every day. That also
I'm a little hurt though. I thought for sure you'd say my Swedish apple pie.
We're talking foods. If we're talking
that's food, you eat it.
I was going to include that in comfort foods, man. All right. Makes me feel some type of way. Okay, leave me alone.
Y'all have to understand. I'm giving him a hard time on purpose because usually when we ask BUBBZI, so what do you want for your birthday? A nap and Swedish apple pie.
I just want to be left alone sometimes and just drift,
It is a pretty good pie. We will probably get into that in comfort foods.
Yeah.
But, I love Chinese food. Don't get me wrong. I mean, and there's certain stuff that I like better than others. And of course, I have to say we probably like the Americanized Chinese food. Mm-hmm. Because we've never really had too much of the authentic, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
We haven't had too much, but we have had some. But
some. But I'm a little old fashioned.
Steak.
Yeah, he knows already.
Steak.
My favorite food at any time, anywhere, is a nice, well prepared,
Yeah, I was about to say,
properly prepared
please include well prepared.
steak.
Because if it's anywhere over medium and anywhere below medium rare, please seek help.
No, I like
Okay.
rare. I like my steaks rare. You know that. But it also
okay,
depends on if I know who's cooking it. Because
true.
if I don't know the restaurant, then I won't order it that way because I don't see. I guess I'll say it this way, Bubs, and you know this. We've had this discussion. I think to be a good chef, and especially if you're going to cook steak, you have to be able to fix a rare steak. All right, because there is such a precise amount of time that you have that it's perfectly cooked, everything's warm the way it's supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
and you can miss it so easily. And if you can fix a rare steak, then you can probably fix all the others. And I know there's timing on all those, but that's just my theory.
Well,
So I want something, like I said, that's well prepared.
and the
done
reason I say like medium rare, medium, anything over medium, first of all, you lost basically all flavor in most cases.
I think so.
Second, you're chewing for forever. And then anything below medium rare, yes, you have a lot of flavor usually, and if it's prepared correctly, but it's also the same thing as you feel like sometimes you're chewing forever. I just want to enjoy.
Well, I'm sure, BUBBZI, there's people out here that's going to be watching, going to be listening, that know people the same way we do. They think that the steak should be killed twice before they eat it. I mean, we've all had that one friend probably at some point that basically makes hamburgers, but what they actually turn out to be is hockey pucks.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have fried the life out of them. They push and push and push and push and push until it's just it's another charcoal briquette.
Well, and
right.
See, the thing about steaks, and something I didn't realize, so all the bacteria on steak is actually on beef particularly is on the outside of the meat, which is why you're allowed to eat raw in the middle as long as the outside is cooked properly and seared. Now, things like chicken, you have to cook that all the way through because the bacteria is all throughout.
And pork's kind of the same way. It has some bacteria it has to be cooked a little bit different.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with stuff like that. But, it's just such a fine line because, my grandmother and I, we always used to go out to eat breakfast together when I first learned how to drive. And I would always order rare steak with sunny side up eggs. And she would give me the same spiel every time. Well, if I knew you were going to order raw food, I wouldn't have even come. Now my grandmother was an excellent cook, but she did not understand the rare steak or the appeal of the sunny side up egg. Okay. I mean, and a lot of people don't like the sunny side up eggs. I mean, we've got people in our family that it has to be, they want it dead. They want it flat. They don't want nothing running. They want it,
Well, and see, I didn't even like sunny side eggs up until probably the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So I understand it too a little bit. And it also depends on like, what are you doing with the egg? Like if we're talking like an egg sandwich, I'm probably going to want it more on the finished side because it's going to drip out. But if we're talking like it's going to be on a plate, I'm using the plate. Yeah, I can go for
I get that.
some sunny side. You know what I mean?
Well, and see, that's the thing though, because an egg is another one of my favorite foods. I don't really care how an egg is fixed. It's fried, I'm in. Scrambled, I'm in. I even like poached eggs, right? I like boiled eggs. I like eggs, period. And that's, I just thought of something.
What?
I'll raise my hand now and wave at everybody. And for those that can hear, I'm just saying this. Drop me a comment if you like a well-prepared hamburger with an egg on top. Now, see, for me, the egg has to be a little runny. So when you bust the egg, it kind of covers that burger just a little bit, right? Not that it's so drippy and messy, but there's something about that egg that enhances the flavor of that burger. Again, it's to me. Not everybody likes that.
Well, speaking of which, I was on TikTok earlier. As people probably already know, we're on TikTok all the time. It just happens. Found an egg recipe for it's a boiled egg, kind of like a poached egg, but it's like a little bit of like Asian inspired, but the yolk comes almost like out as like a jammy consistency. But the way they do it is you cook it at like, I think it's 167 degrees for 13 minutes and try to keep it at that temperature like exactly. Oh my gosh, the way this egg looked when it came out. I will send you the video.
Show that to me.
I will send you the video later. I looked for where my phone was. It's over
like
here.
I said, I'm all about the egg. We haven't done it in a while, just busy and everything else. But as BUBBZI can tell you, we used to have a Tupperware style bowl that we kept in the fridge, and we would get big things, and we'd just boil a bunch of eggs, and just run by if you want one or two for a snack, whatever you want. So that's another one of my favorite foods. Now you said Asian inspired. So what else you got on your favorite foods? And then we'll move along. We don't want people, we do hope, I will say this, that you all put your favorite foods in the comments. Let us know.
Here's the thing. This goes out obviously Monday morning for the people who tune in, when it first drops. If you're on the way to work and you haven't ate breakfast yet, I do apologize.
We gonna make you hungry.
We gonna make you hungry. I'm one of those people. Here's the thing. I love breakfast food. Absolutely adore breakfast food. I don't eat breakfast normally. I eat breakfast one time a week on Saturdays because that's like I'm at home. I don't have to. I'm not usually rushing out to do something on Saturdays. That is the one day I have actual breakfast. Love breakfast food. Oh my gosh, eggs. We're talking like just some nice hash browns. But if you couldn't tell how,
you just made me think of another comfort food. Go ahead.
Just saying, you didn't hear how particular I was about steak. As you can tell, steak is probably one of my favorite foods. I'm also going to say this: if you have to cover your steak in steak sauce or any type of sauce, it is not a good steak.
Well, I will say this. If you want a really good steak and you're going to make it at home, whether you use a dry rub or a liquid marinade, prepare it the night before, seal it up, let it sit in the fridge at least 12 hours, set it out, let it rest about 20 to 30, about 20 minutes or so before you start cooking it. If you do that, you're not going to need the extra steak sauce. Now, if you want it, that's fine. I love this. I love the taste of A1 steak sauce. I like A1 on a hamburger. I actually think it works better on a hamburger sometimes than it does on an actual steak.
True.
So
true. Well, I'm not saying not to use steak sauce. I don't have an issue with that. I enjoy a little bit of steak sauce, but I've also seen people who the only way to eat the steak that was given to them was to pour half a bottle.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with a lot of food. I realize that a lot of restaurants who mass produce for the public, they don't season their stuff well, and you're going to have to add salt, probably a little, and some pepper. But can I make a suggestion? Taste it before you salt it, taste it before you pepper it, and then season it appropriately. Because if once you add it in, you can't take it back out. True. Right? You're not going to have a great food experience. That's kind of BUBBZI and I talk about it all the time in different places. We're wanting things to be an experience. I mean, unfortunately for you all, we're an experience.
What a way to say that, like, guys.
Yeah, we're not everybody's taste, but
I hate that you're getting more and more jokes out of this.
Well, it's the way my brain's working today. I'm sorry. But what I'm saying, but in all seriousness, just taste it first, find out what you need, then enhance what you have, and then enjoy the experience. That's all we're saying.
Well, and
right?
I think
that's all I'm saying.
I think another reason we are very particular about our food is we both like to cook.
True.
And one of the greatest things about cooking is watching someone else eat food that you've prepared and them enjoying it as well. Like, and I'm not talking like, oh, they had to salt it or what. I'm like, perfectly seasoned for what they liked. Boom, they're like, that's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's and if you're in, and we'll just say it, or I'll just say it, if you're fixing a meal for a bunch of different people, there's no way that you can season it properly for everybody because everybody's
Right.
tastes are different. But take the time, be easy. If you're cooking foods, and I know people know this, but taste what you're cooking. Don't just assume you got it correct. Don't do like some people did and accidentally put salt in the cake batter because they thought it was sugar. It has happened numerous times. Don't just misconstrue something, but take the time to taste it. And then you're going to have more favorite foods. You're going to find things that you like better that you really didn't think you would like.
Don't accidentally make 5-alarm chili or 7-alarm chili, something like
I
that.
never accidentally make 5-alarm chili.
Oh, I
It's
know you
on
don't.
purpose
I know.
every time.
But here's the thing. We also have family members who just make 5-alarm chili and think that it's not spicy.
Well, that's because their taste buds are dead and they just can't taste it. So
The thing is, I like spicy food. I enjoy spicy food. My next favorite food was going to be hot wings. But
there you go.
There are people in the bearded family who do not like spicy food and do not handle spice very well. I get to laugh sometimes at family reunions because of spicy food. It's fantastic. Love it. It's great. Please continue to do it.
I have to say this. There was a short period back that I bought BUBBZI some hot wings. And apparently the gentleman that made the hot wings went.
Oh.
Because I have never seen BUBBZI break out in a sweat before eating hot wings, but he was just like,
and we're talking first bite sweats. Like, we're not talking like your fifth or sixth wing in and like, oh yeah, you're sweating a little bit. I'm talking first bite into a leg and just sweat. And
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, and the problem I have with like super spicy wings is you start to lose flavor. I don't know what this dude made. Had to be homemade stuff, but it was super spicy, but it had so much flavor to it as well.
See, that's the thing. When he's talking about one of his favorites is spicy hot wings. But if it's so spicy you can't taste the food.
Well, okay.
Right?
Have you ever watched Hot Ones on YouTube?
Yes.
There is one.
Gordon Ramsay was one of my favorites.
The amount of stuff he pulled out, it'd be like he had like
Right.
What was it? Citrus, ice cream. Dude just pulled out tons and tons of stuff.
Yep.
But there's one. I think it's like the third or second from the end. Like it's called like Nuclear Death. People have literally said it just tastes like battery acid. Like, I don't know what you're putting in that to
I
make
don't see the point of that though. See, that's my problem.
That's the thing. It's just that spicy.
I know.
That it just but the thing is, their hot ones or whatever, that's supposed to be the hottest one. They're like, it still has a good flavor though. Like you can still like achieve the goal of without losing the taste buds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how what is his name, Sean or whatever, does it every time because he eats the spice with the
I think
entire.
he cheats.
Oh, he does not. 'Cause there's definitely. See, there was like a couple episodes where you can tell he got a little bit like an actual like seed or flake or something, and he was just like, like,
Yeah.
please get it off of me.
Well, and see, here's the thing, guys. Since we're talking about favorite foods, BUBBZI and I will travel a little distance to get something that we really, really like. It may sound kind of funny, but where we live, there is this little Shell Mart down the street that apparently has somebody's grandmother chained to the stove in the back. That, I mean, you would not, if you drive by that, said you're going to eat food from there, but they make everything well. They don't overspice the wings. They have a decent mild wing. They make an excellent hamburger. And
their spicy wings scare me because they're not wet spicy wings.
I know they're dry spicy, but they spicy, ain't they?
Yes, and I'm like, what did you do to this piece of chicken? And the bad part was I think it was like I ordered mild wings one time. It had one spicy wing, and it was the very last one. Like, it wasn't like, I could chill it out with whatever else it was eating. It was the last thing from the box. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go die. Thanks.
But, that's just some of our favorite foods. Like I love a good burger. I love a good steak. I love eggs, and this is just favorite. And I really am hoping, because I'm sure there are people out there who have some unusual favorite foods. BUBBZI and I are playing it pretty close to the main line when it comes to favorite foods, right? But if you've got something unusual that's your favorite food, please let me know. I really want to see it. I really want to figure out if I want to try it. But
could say something like kimchi or something like that, fermented fish.
I would try it. I may not like it.
I mean, I've had some kimchi. Kimchi's good. It's just, I don't really consider it like my favorite most of the time.
But, it's like, we're talking about favorite foods, which kind of leads into the next category, Bubs, which is comfort foods. Now, everybody has different foods that are called, quote unquote, comfort foods for a reason. Like some of the foods that I consider comfort food are because it's what my grandmother fixed when I was little, and it brings back those warm and fuzzy memories when I was snuggled up in my jammies, all that stuff.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So for me, and this is going to sound really funny, maybe, but y'all got to understand. I'm just going to have to tell you.
Oh, okay. Well, we lost your camera for a second. We're back. We're good.
Okay. Sorry about the glitch. No, I'm sorry. But.
All right. Okay. And
ain't nothing wrong. Me. So anyway, but one of the things that you all got to understand is my grandmother was raised in Eastern Kentucky. She was a country cook from the get-go. I'm talking the 5-pound bucket of lard in the kitchen cabinet.
Oh my gosh.
The ginormous metal spoon with a head on it, about, just huge metal spoon for those that can't see it. And, she would start cooking breakfast, big spoonful of lard into the cast iron skillet. She would start frying up the bacon or the sausage, or depending on the mood she might even do both. But my grandmother made some of the absolute best gravy ever, in my opinion. So for me, gravy is one of those things when I'm having a bad day, or if, it's just whatever. It's like, I want some biscuits and gravy, because it brings back those memories of sitting around the kitchen table with my grandmother. And, you feel safe, you feel comfortable. So, I would say, even though I don't eat it as much as I used to, because I am trying to be good, that would probably be my first and go-to comfort food. That's what I want first and foremost.
Well,
all right. So what do you think, Bubs? What kind of?
We're both trying to be good, and I understand that sentiment completely. Here's the thing. All my comfort foods are sweets. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I've got 3.
And the funny thing is, he doesn't eat a lot of sweets.
I don't eat a lot of sweets. I'm more of just like, I want good quality, and for a lot of years was quantity food. But I don't eat a lot of sweets. But the comfort food, because it's rare, it's the those special occasions, but they always brought up good memories. Obviously, gotta just like buzz in like Swedish apple pie. Give me some. Thank you. Thank you. Like, I'm talking.
Well, I feel better now. Thank you.
I'm just saying, right out of the oven, bro, with a little bit of vanilla bean ice cream. Oh.
For those of you that don't know what Swedish apple pie is, the best way I can describe it is it's kind of a cross between a pie and an apple cobbler.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Especially if you got it hot out of the oven and a little bit of ice cream on top.
You gotta understand, I stopped asking for birthday cakes. I was just like, please, make me one. Make me one of these.
Yeah, it's what he would prefer, instead of a birthday cake.
Yeah.
but it's good. I mean, and it's the thing. That's the thing. It brings back memories, And BUBBZI, would you say I'm wrong that most comfort foods in some shape, form, or fashion involve carbohydrates?
Most of the time, yeah, actually.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Well, and like, so my second comfort food, and honestly, I'm going to save the best for last. My second comfort food is probably the most simplest thing known to man, and that's just a decent sized bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Really?
Yes, dude, there's just something about like you're in the mood for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and you're just like, all right. And you just have a nice bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. There's nothing better. You're just chilling, relaxing at the table. Man, there's nothing better. It just hits different. Okay. You weren't expecting that one, were you?
No, I was not expecting Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
There's just something about it, man. It's like you're just like, this tastes good.
Now, if we're, and again, guys, we really want you to, like, share, comment, subscribe. We want to know what your comfort foods are as well.
Yes.
We want to see if you match and see if, again, I'm all about the different, right? If you got some kind of unusual comfort food that I've never heard of, please tell me what it is because I want to know. But like for me, Mama Beard probably makes one of the best potato soups I've ever had. And like in the middle of winter, when it's cold and, the wind's blowing and we got you big old bowl of potato soup with the cheese on top and all that. I mean, a little bit of crumbled up bacon on. I mean, you just don't get much better than that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, we found a recipe a year or so back for a potato soup that you can make in the crock pot using frozen hash browns. Remember when you mentioned hash browns, I said you made me think of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now, I really, really, really like this recipe. And I know Mama Beard really, really likes this recipe. But then again, she's the one that always fixes the potato soup. So naturally, she's probably going to like the one in the crock pot better because she didn't have to fix it. Right? So, but for me, potato soup is one of those snuggle up, watch a movie with your family kind of things. You know what I'm saying? It's where everything just seems okay. You're all on everything seems to be on an even keel and you're just having a good time with your family.
Yeah.
That's where potato soup comes into it for me. And I don't know. It just, again, for me, how do I say this without getting too deep, BUBBZI? You know me, I do this all the time and I apologize. But food for me has always been, to a certain degree, connected to my emotions. When I'm having a bad day, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
So I'm a stress eater, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So when you can associate those good memories, and again, BUBBZI and I, the whole bearded house, we're trying to be good. We're trying to lay off the carbohydrates, but sometimes you just got to have that thing that brings you back to that sweet spot, if you will, so that you can go and just let everything go and relax in the moment. I mean, all total, that's what comfort food does for me. Yeah. And again, I feel like I need to say it again here, BUBBZI, for those of you that are driving or at work, we're going to make you hungry.
Yeah. I guess for my last comfort food, and you'll understand this. This one is not out of pocket like the Cinnamon Toast Crunch one. This was probably what you thought I was going to list first. It has been a tradition in our family, probably before I was born, but Christmas morning there is always going to be chocolate gravy.
Chocolate gravy.
My grandmother, who we lost last year, she made chocolate gravy every year on Christmas.
Sometimes under protest, but she made it.
Now, you gotta understand, old country cooking, I'm talking like great drop biscuits, a little bit of chocolate gravy, which chocolate gravy, it's the same thing as like regular gravy, except it's chocolate. It's not like...
Yeah, and if you don't know what he's talking about, drop biscuits or cat head biscuits, you can buy some of them big buttery grand biscuits, and it works just as good on those as it does the homemade biscuits. And for those of you that are wondering what chocolate gravy is, it is basically a chocolate roux.
Mhm.
You are making a chocolate sauce, but you're making it in a cast iron skillet, just like you do gravy. And for those of you that have never tried chocolate gravy, I am so very sorry how deprived you are.
Yeah. And like you said, it's all about like memories and emotions.
Right?
There, like I said, I was saving the best for last. There is nothing as far that I can remember of things I've tried that is ever going to top that in most cases.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the few connections I still have with her, because even when she's not here, we still make it because it's something she did.
Yeah.
Like I there's not a Christmas that goes by where it's not present.
See,
You know?
we called this thing tummy talk to be kind of funny, right? But that's the cool thing about food, right? Because the memories that you can make with your friends and your family over food,
Mhm.
you can be 3,000 miles away, 20 years away, and you can smell that food and instantly you're back in that moment because it'll flash that memory. You can see the silliness of Christmas morning where we're fussing over who's going to make the chocolate gravy and who's going to,
Oh.
and all this stuff and all the banter and all that. And it's a good memory. It just sparks something wonderful. Right. So I get it. I get the chocolate gravy, and it's probably the same reason that my last comfort food it'll probably shock you. I don't know if you want to guess what you think it is.
I don't want to be wrong, so no.
No, you can't be wrong because you may be close, but there's no way you're going to be wrong. But I'm just curious if you know where I'm coming from.
Absolutely not, because I don't know how I can.
Well, he talks about, the memories of the chocolate gravy with his grandmother. So I go back to my grandmother a lot. She was a stupendously powerful little woman in my life for a lot of years, and did the very best she could.
She beat you up.
And one of the things that I miss most, and I'm afraid to attempt,
Ooh.
because I'm afraid I won't do it justice, is she used to make this pineapple upside down cake.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this. Okay.
That just melted in your mouth. I mean, it was just so smooth and so easy. I mean, there were times that I think she ripped the cake out of my hand because I was acting like a rabid dog and just wouldn't let her have it back, Yeah, not really, but you know what I'm saying? It was just that good. I'll tell you how good it was. All right. This is the story I'll give you about how good the pineapple upside down cake was. She paid a doctor bill with a pineapple upside down cake.
Well, and see, here's the thing.
The doctor accepted it as form of payment and marked her bill paid in full.
Oh my
just
gosh.
saying.
Well, and see, we know some people who can bake that, like, people will fight over some baked goods, Oh
Right.
my gosh.
And I really want to try one, but I've never worked up the nerve in all the years that she's been gone, because there's a part of me that's afraid it'll taint the memory, if that makes any sense at all. It's like I want to do it to honor her, but at the same time, I don't want to mess it up.
Do you know if she left the recipe anywhere?
Nope. I've looked. I never did see one. She had recipes, but I don't think she ever looked at them. I don't think the pineapple upside down cake was ever the same way twice.
But it was still great every single time.
She was so good at stuff that it was just absolutely wild. She made what I will call the infamous banana pudding one year.
Mhm.
And she always made it for one uncle because he absolutely loved banana pudding. So he comes in, he gets him a big bowl, and he's sitting there eating, and she's like, "Do you like it?" He goes, "Oh yeah, it's great. Tastes good." She goes, "Anything missing?" "No. Tastes good to me." She goes, "I forgot to put the bananas in it."
Oh gosh, I knew what you're talking about.
But
Oh,
it's those kind of memories. I mean, that's one of those things. And since we're talking about food and we're talking about what brings us comfort, the comfort foods, that's one of those things I think about when I get banana pudding from anywhere. I think about the infamous no banana pudding, those memories. So that's the kind of the cool thing about food, is that it's just one of those things that's always brought us together.
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion while we're talking about comfort foods, Bubs?
What?
Since we're going to be coming up on the holiday season here before not too long,
Holiday
for those that
season.
are watching and listening at home or wherever you're listening today, when you go to your family dinners, for those on camera, I'm holding up my phone, right? For those who can't see the camera, put these away. Hide them in the car, put them under the seat, the couch cushions, whatever. Turn them off. Spend some time with your family. Not talking about politics and religion. We do know what to do. We do not want turkey thrown across the dining room.
Also, don't play Rook.
Enjoy your family. Make some really cool memories. You know, because the little ones that are coming up behind you, you're influencing their comfort foods. The things that will bring those memories back and bring them to that safe place. So put the phones down. Have a good time with each other. Laugh, giggle, argue, the whole 9 yards.
Well, see,
you're going to do it.
Hey, I'm just saying, at least
or just come together.
with our family Thanksgiving things, I never have time to be on my phone anymore because, you know, I have to whoop up on my cousins in a game of basketball. Okay.
He wishes.
Excuse you. I'm currently winning 5 years in a row. Thank you very much. There has been an ongoing tradition of at least one basketball game a year, and currently I am 5 years running as a winner. It's a team game. Usually it's a 2-on-2, but we've had up to a 5-on-5, but that was when the older folks' knees could still keep up with me.
Gotcha. Well, BUBBZI, we better move on. We've talked probably too long about comfort food. So I'm just going to ask you, what's the strangest food you've ever eaten?
Okay. I'm going to preface this.
And you better not say my food. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, have you seen who made it?
Well, the stranger made it, but it does not make it strange food.
Okay. I'm just going to preface this. I have a rule when it comes to food. I will try I will try any type of food one time. If I like it, great. If I don't, I'm never trying it again. You cannot make me. Now, I'm going to go with the simplest strange food, and then we'll go with what I considered, hey, never thought I'd be able to do this. First of all, tomatoes are strange. Raw,
yes. Just
straight up tomatoes.
Can't do it. Texture thing. Yeah.
No. I've seen people try to eat them like apples. How the heck are you? What are you? Get away from me. Second, I would say probably the strangest that I thought I'd never get to try was crocodile. Crocodile was great.
Where did you try crocodile?
Ohio, actually.
That seems a little far away from the bayou, but I'm just saying. But seriously, like what did you think of crocodile? I mean, give me a little bit of what you thought about it.
Obviously, people. I didn't realize when people said, you know, it almost tastes like chicken. Like you can definitely tell it's not chicken because it's just a tad bit chewier. But it was very close, and was a little disconcerting. But it was actually very good.
Okay. Well, I mean, he has the same. I have the same feelings about tomatoes that he does.
Oh my God!
It's a texture thing for me, guys. I know that people love raw tomatoes. See, the funny thing is, I love fried green tomatoes, but it changes the texture.
Yeah, it's just the raw.
I love salsa. I like tomatoes in my chili. But I can't do the raw. It's the strangest food in the world for me for that.
Like just by themselves, raw. I know that
those listening can't see this, but it's like literally that if I try to put a tomato in my mouth, my tongue goes on rebellion. And it's like, you know, it will not do it. Mm-hmm. And I have tried numerous times. Could be, well, try it with a little bit of this on. No, didn't work. Texture. It's not the flavor, it's the texture. So, but for me, Bubs, trying to remember where it was. Somebody here in Kentucky had it. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I tried rattlesnake. Now, people are like, ooh, it's just, but I'm telling you, it was exceptional. Again, it kind of had, in my opinion, the texture of chicken, but the flavor was different, but not bad different. It was like,
Right.
okay, I like this. I can eat this again. Right. You know, and so that may be the strangest thing I've ever eaten. Now, I will say on top of that, that years ago I was dating a young woman. We went out to dinner and she talked me into trying something I never thought I would try and I actually liked, which was escargot.
Yeah, I've never had escargot.
And for those of you that don't know what escargot is, and I'm sure all of you do, but I will explain just in case, it's snails. Right? Now, it's not just pick them up off the sidewalk, douse them in salt, and, you know, we're not going to do that. We're not having snail. Oh, I love the face he's making.
No.
But, you know, it's garlic, it's butter, they're prepared, they're cooked, you know, but I really wasn't sure. But, you know, let's be honest, Bubs. I was not going to let her think that I was a chicken and not eat it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I mean,
well,
it was going down if I had to
to.
force it down with a plunger, you know? You know what I'm saying? But so that's probably the two strangest things that I've ever really tried to eat. And again, guys, I'm asking, what's the strangest food you've ever eaten? Let us know.
My next one would probably have to be eel. But eel was fine. Eel was nice, actually. I didn't mind eel at all.
Oh, you're talking about from the sushi place, right?
Yeah, but obviously eel by itself, never thought would be something that I would be anywhere near my mouth at all. But yeah, that happened. It was actually pretty good.
Well, I mean, I wonder if there's anybody out there that thinks that sushi in itself is a strange food to eat. You know,
I did as a child, because I was like, "You're eating raw food. What are you doing?"
Well, but that's probably because your grandfather called it bait too. So,
true. I mean, oh, yeah. If we're talking about just strange things, chicken livers. No. I know you like them. No.
Well,
get away
but
from me.
You've got to understand that as a child, it was kind of the same texture thing as with tomatoes. But I hit a certain age, and I don't know if it was because my body was craving iron, and that's the only thing about chicken livers. And yes, I realize they're the dumpster of the chicken, just like the liver's the dumpster of the cow. You know, if it's beef liver or whatever, I get that. But they are so high in iron, and I wonder if I wasn't that, you know, because I still get a craving for them every once in a while, and I wonder if it's because my iron's low. It's not something that I will go out of my way to get, but it's not something that I would turn down now like I would when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying?
There is only one thing those should ever be used for anymore, and that is catfish bait. Okay? Thank you.
Now, I will say that I still cannot eat beef liver. There's something sandy and dry about it. Again, it's a texture thing for me. You know, and when we get into one of the things that I saw when we were talking about weird foods, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, is the same reason I can't eat that stuff. But I'm not going to give it away. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we've kind of talked about some weird foods. What is something that you've heard of? You know, strange foods, whatever. What is something that you've heard of that you'd like to try?
Oh, fish
or
eggs.
You'd be interested in trying?
Fish eggs.
Caviar?
Yeah, I'd like to try caviar once.
We don't make enough money for caviar.
I know, that's the problem. Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure. I can't even compute what they might taste like. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't have any frame of reference.
Here's the problem. Okay. Like I said, I like to cook. Food Network is a thing. And I've just watched way too much of Gordon Ramsay to not want to try them at least once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the second time we brought Gordon Ramsay up on this show. This is very strange.
I know. Maybe he'll come hang out with us sometime.
That would be very strange.
That would be cool, actually.
He would just ask me where the lamb sauce was, and I'd start bawling because I don't know.
We need a beep. We need a button. Beep, beep, beep. Because he likes his F word.
Oh,
so,
wait.
There you go.
I got one, bro. Technically, you have one too.
Probably. I don't even. Yeah. But anyway, I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's anything right now that I've heard of that I would want to try. I can't, because I just can't think of anything right off the top of my head. I keep thinking of that one particular fruit that they kept trying to get the guy on Bizarre Foods to try, the one that smelled so bad. I can't even think of the name of it right now. Big old yellow fruit.
Isn't it called like the forbidden fruit? Is like what his nickname
something
is?
Something like that. I don't remember the name of it.
I don't remember the actual name. Yeah, I know.
All I know is a few people that he tried to get to taste it. He popped the thing open. And they're like, you know, because it just smelled that bad.
I wish we had somebody like the Joe Rogan podcast. Like, Jamie, can you pull that up?
Right.
Right. So much, I guess I
one
could
of these
do
days.
It. I guess I
one of these days, BUBBZI, we get enough subscribers and people watch it. We'll get our own intern.
Smelly fruit.
Well, there's a bunch of them. I don't think that's going to narrow it down much.
The durian. That's what it is. The durian.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and the sad part about it is, I don't know what it tastes like, but the fact that everybody is so over the top about it is what makes me want to maybe try it.
I'm just saying, like,
is that weird?
It's supposed to be like one of the sweetest fruits on earth, but it smells just so
But it smells
bad.
like dead feet.
Yeah.
You know, at least that's what I understand, right?
Oh, so I see why you brought up feet, by the way. No, I know exactly what you were doing here.
Well, I mean, you know, we do have a relative that
you wanted to bring up the feet loaf.
Watches the podcast, you know, and we're talking about strange foods, you know, and years ago, because she has a foot phobia, we found a picture of somebody who made something for Halloween called feet loaf. He shaped it to look like feet and used big onion things for the toenails. It was kind of nasty looking, really.
Mm-hmm.
But so, you know, May, if you're listening, this one's for you. I'm making you a feet loaf for Halloween.
Oh my God.
Just saying. But, you know, it would be strange. And sometimes, you know, it's the way food looks. I mean, you know, because that's kind of what makes it strange, because food needs to be appetizing to the eye, to the nose, to the palate.
I was about to say, you don't really care how it looks. You usually care how it smells.
Right.
Like for you. That's.
Yeah, because if I can't get past see, he knows I'm the guy. If you ever see me in a restaurant, when my plate first gets there, the first bite, I have to smell.
Yeah.
And if it don't, I'm not going to eat it if it doesn't smell right. I'm just not going to do it. So,
like, yeah, if it's off, he's like, can I please get another plate, or can I order something else?
Yep. I can't do it.
I mean, he immediately will just stop. Wait, I mean, hey, can be smart. You might save yourself, you know?
And it could be just something that they use that I don't like. But if it doesn't satisfy the nose, then it's not going to satisfy the palate. That's the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I do that with everything. And there's, you know, it's so funny that I'll get a look. People have been around me for years and they're like, why are you sniffing your food? Like, dude, you've known me how long?
Yeah, you've never noticed? Like, yeah, he does it all the time.
See, when you eat a hamburger, it's easier because you can hide it with your face. You know,
they can't tell that I'm sniffing it.
So, BUBBZI, you know that I've been watching some of these strange, odd food combinations.
Which, here's the thing, I don't know how those are showing up on your. I don't know how these started showing up on your For You page, because they don't show up on mine at all.
I don't know.
And I'm happy. And I'm very happy.
I don't know.
See, like I get the ones where they're like making like steak out in the middle of the woods, like fresh. Or like the one dude
I get
who, like,
those too, but I'm not sure how the weird combos started to show up, but they did.
I've got the dude that just throws pans everywhere.
Right. But I mean, you know, and some of them don't sound bad because I've done it. Like, you know, we basically said that, you know, weird foods, would you, yes or no? And again, for those that are watching and those that are listening, you know, we're not going to hit all of them. We're just going to hit a few of them.
Yeah.
Right. And let you guys go on with the rest of your day, hopefully smiling a little bit and, you know, not thinking about the weird combinations. And every time you think about it, you're going, you know.
I just thought about something. We started this podcast talking about food. Usually, like I said, Monday morning. people that were hungry probably went and got food, and now we're trying to ruin their appetite. Like, bro, we're just hitting it from all.
I'm not trying to ruin anything. I just want to know,
We're hitting
are
them from
you
all
brave
angles.
enough, or would you be willing to try these combinations? Now, BUBBZI, you and I both, the first one that I pulled up, you and I both have done this before. It's cheese puff and pickles.
Which are delicious, actually, which is
right.
surprising.
I mean, it goes good together. It really does. I mean, cheese puff, pickle. I don't care how you do it. It's just good.
Hey, if you got the chips, just lay it on top,
And this one, I just saw this one, but I'm curious if anybody's tried it. Because BUBBZI, they say that this one takes about 3 or 4 days, okay, to do before you can actually try it. But it's pickles and Kool-Aid. It says if you like making your own pickles at home, chances are you haven't thought to store your pickles in Kool-Aid. But according to foodie Melissa Johnson, the taste isn't half bad, right? But you basically take it out, you take the pickle juice out, you mix the Kool-Aid in it, you pour it back in the jar, you screw it back into the cup, and you let it sit so that it gets into the pickles.
I have one question.
Right.
Who hurt them?
I don't know.
I could maybe see it if they were cucumbers, like they hadn't been pickled yet.
Maybe.
Because cucumbers.
But what
don't
about
have,
if it was watermelon Kool-Aid?
What? I don't like watermelon and pickles, man. Like, no.
If y'all can't see his face, you got to come see the face. I'm just saying.
Ooh, okay. All right.
I don't yet, but you got to put it in like I said, you got to leave it in the fridge for about 5 days.
Like I said, if it was cucumbers, because cucumbers don't have like a very significant taste to them already, whereas pickles do, because they have a very, pickles have a very vibrant profile. We'll say it that way. I don't know about you. Of course.
Well, here's the question.
Of course, and like I said, I'm thinking like my grandmother's Kool-Aid, which is like, hi, there's a large amount of sugar in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is just a Kool-Aid, I guess. But here's this. Would you try one if somebody offered it to you, though?
I would try it.
Yeah.
I might vomit. I would try it. It'd be a lot of those, like, I'd be holding it, be like,
BUBBZI be turning going, put. Yeah. But now, this is one that showed up that I was kind of surprised because people my age and older, anybody that's older than me sees this will know. But it's apple pie and cheddar cheese. Now, this has been done for years. I've had apple pie and cheddar cheese from a restaurant. You could order it at the restaurant this way. And surprisingly enough, the combination works really well.
I will take your word for it.
Yeah, I'm sure that this is coming from the TikTok generation, people who've never heard of this stuff. But this one I knew about. This is one that's been around for a long time.
Well, so, I know which one you're talking, like, as far as like the TikTok generation, which got this whole thing sparked back up.
Yeah.
Which is the watermelon and mustard.
See,
you're afraid
I kind of want to try it.
Here's the problem.
But the problem is, I like both watermelon and mustard, and I'm afraid I'll like it.
Right. That's the thing. We love both separately, but we're worried we'd like both of them together.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, BUBBZI. Here's the one.
Don't hurt my soul. Thank you.
Well, no, this is the one that we did talk about earlier because I had to, because I just couldn't understand. But I watched the video. I did see the video. And this young lady says, you have to try this. It's exceptional.
Oh.
It just tastes good.
No.
And for our watchers and our listeners,
we apologize.
Let me know. Would you try this one? But this is Doritos. I can't even say it. And cottage cheese.
Doritos?
I don't.
Great. Cottage cheese? No.
I just don't see why you would ruin a perfectly good Dorito.
Like,
by putting cottage. dipping it in cottage cheese. It may be excellent for somebody who can eat cottage cheese, but remember that other food that I said that was a texture thing for me?
Well, see,
Cottage cheese is the one.
I don't know if it's really a super texture thing with you, because you do enjoy blue cheese, which has a similar texture. But there's just something about
Not to me,
cottage
it doesn't.
cheese.
It's not. There's something about the cottage cheese that's just off for me.
It's more chunks. That's what it is.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, there's something about cottage cheese. Like, no, that's another thing. Like, that's you
And
put cottage
before somebody
cheese
puts it in
on,
the
like,
comments,
nope.
would you try it only under duress? I don't know if I could bring myself to do it. I mean, because I have such a violent reaction
To cottage cheese.
to cottage cheese. Again, it's as if my tongue goes into its full-blown rebellion,
Yeah,
and it's no longer mine at all.
We both don't like cottage cheese, if you couldn't tell.
Well, BUBBZI, what about ketchup and popcorn?
Popcorn? Well, I mean,
Ketchup and popcorn.
are we talking like flavored popcorn, like with like butter?
No. I'm talking
Please.
about either squirting
just-
ketchup on your popcorn.
That's probably fine.
Or dipping. Yeah. I mean, I like ketchup and I like popcorn. And you know me, I also like to put weird flavors. I mean, I'm one of those that likes to make popcorn and put Parmesan cheese on it. I think it works really well. Some people say it smells like feet. I think it smells marvelous, but that's just me. I mean,
you have to understand. People, like, when I was in school, they thought ranch and pizza was strange.
Now everybody does that.
But it's great. It's fine.
Yeah. So, any of these that we're mentioning, guys, let us know if you would be willing to try them. Now, see, the thing about it is we talked about, excuse me, the Doritos and cottage cheese. There's another one on the list that says potato chips and yogurt. And the sad part about it is I can almost see that being good, depending on the flavor of yogurt. But at least I'd be able to try that one. I really don't think I could do the cottage cheese one at all.
What type of chips are we talking about?
Let's just say Ruffles.
I was about to say, don't say Lay's, because if it was Lay's just original, that's not working. 100% not working. Like, no, don't even bring that near me. No. Now, Ruffles, they're not as heavily salted. I could see that possibly working, because most of the flavor you're going to get is from the yogurt instead of the chip. Whereas if you did it with Lay's Originals, oh my gosh, that's...
Yeah. Well, again, simply because of...
Now, would I try it? Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry about that. Last one. And I saved this one because just because. And again, guys, we're just having a little fun with it, But,
he's putting me under duress is what he's doing.
Right. How about carrots and mustard?
Why?
I don't know.
So
I mean,
many...
I have a feeling that it probably came about because somebody was trying to get their kid to eat carrots and everyone's like, here, try this. But
here's the thing.
I'm not opposed to mustard or carrots.
Here's the thing. I would try it. The problem is, why would I substitute it for like ranch, which makes a whole lot more sense?
Because you don't have ranch.
Why would I not have ranch?
Because you ate it all already.
Well, then I would have ate all the carrots already.
Not necessarily.
It's
sometimes you have more carrots.
Heck no. That's not how this works. I would usually run out of carrots before I would run out of ranch, which means when I would go, I would buy both. That way I still have more ranch, because the thing is, I use ranch on more things than I do the carrots. So I'm okay with if I run out of carrots instead of the ranch. Okay. I plan for these things. All right.
Well, and again, guys, this is just some of the odd combinations that people are trying. I mean, I know there's others out there, and we're not going to talk about them. I just mentioned a couple of them. It was like Flamin' Cheetos and milk. Eat them like cereal, right? I mean, I don't know. I can't say it's not good because I haven't tried it. In my mind, I'm like, no.
Stick to Cinnamon Toast Crunch, guys. Just...
it's there's all kinds of different things that you can try if you want. Again, we're curious. We thought we would talk about food because, well, I mean, again, I thoroughly believe that food is another one of those things, just like coffee, that can be used to draw people back together again. I'm not saying we all need to be, sit down and eat a 7-course meal and all of us weigh 400 pounds. And the reason we have to talk to each other is because we can't get out of the room. All right. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if we would spend more time conversating and spending time with the people we care about instead of spending time with these little pocket computers, right? Mm-hmm. If we'd have some legitimate conversations, things in this world, in my opinion, would be a whole lot different. Let's sit down. Tell your family that breakfast tomorrow is going to be tummy talk. And when they ask you what it is, say, we're going to put everything away and we're just going to talk while we fill our tummies. There you go. Done. Right? Thanksgiving, let's have tummy talk. Christmas, let's have tummy talk. Right?
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll find a recipe for chocolate gravy and let us know what you think about that, because it's amazing.
I'm just saying, if we're talking at Thanksgiving, I'm calling somebody up for very dry turkey. Okay, thank you very much.
Not if I make it.
Oh, no, yours is great. I'm not talking about you. But we have some family members who don't understand that turkey is not supposed to make me need water. Okay? Like, I'm talking like I need to drink.
It has happened a few times in the past. I've done it. So it can easily be done. You have to pay attention to the food. All right. But guys, this, just like every other podcast that BUBBZI and I have done, I hope that we have made you smile. I hope that we have maybe made you shake your head a few times and go, why do I even listen to this?
Why did
that
I
we're
choose
just
this
that
episode?
far off.
Yeah.
And maybe you're just having a bad day and this is so far off the normal that it got you out of your headspace and now you're smiling a little bit, and we're good with that. Yeah. Because you guys are amazing to us. You come, you listen, you watch. BUBBZI, I think when I looked before we got on, we were 7 away from having 3,500 views all total. Mm-hmm. Guys, do you know how crazy that is for 2 discombobulated people from Kentucky?
Yeah.
You guys are amazing and we appreciate you. And before I say the rest of it, I want to do this. Please go check out Coffeetarian.store. Right? Look at their coffees. Look at their coffee cups that keep your coffee hot for hours. They're good stuff, man. But check out the Colombian. That's mine and BUBBZI's favorite right now. I like the Mexican chocolate, the cowboy. I mean, I like it all. Everything I've had, I've liked. Mm-hmm. But Colombian's at the top of my list at the moment. But check out the different flavors. Find something that appeals to you. And when you check out, just put BEARD, BEARD, in the discount box and save 10% off your first order. All right. But when you're making that coffee, be happy that you got your 10%. But I want you to understand and keep it close to your heart that you are 100% a part of every blessing that Coffeetarian sends out now, because you've become a part of their coffee family. And that's what it was all about, spreading good coffee and spreading humanitarian efforts.
Yes.
All right. So don't ever forget that. Check them out. Let us know what you think. Again, in the comments, like the videos, share the videos, tell your friends about us, subscribe, hit the notification bell so whenever the new one pops up, you don't have to hunt for it. It's just there. Mm-hmm. And for each and every one of you that support us, we thank you so much. If you need to find me on social media, it's the THE Caffeinated Beard on TikTok and Instagram. That's the 2 easiest places to find me. And you know what's coming, right? If you stayed this long, if you've hung around this long, whether it's your first time or your 10th time, until the next time, welcome to the family.
Yes, and obviously we cannot thank you all enough. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to find me, it's It's BUBBZI. That's ITSBUBBZI. You include the it's at the front. I know it's like, oh, it's BUBBZI. You know, yeah. But as always, we're going to end off this episode with a thank you. And this has been the Caffeinated Podcast. Bye, guys.
Later.
And we out.
Good.